What's good, y'all? Elvis here. So, excuse the room. I'm actually moving, and it kind of happened all of a sudden. Like, the intention was for me to stay. I realized I was misaligned in my goals. This was not my goal. I lost track of what the real objective was. I kind of just had an epiphany, talked to God, and I realized, like, this isn't something that I care about anymore. And I've had a lot of moments in life where I just kind of like pivoted all at once, just decided to leave something behind. And I'm always beating myself up about it because I'm somebody who really values discipline and follow through, and I identify with my performance, with my utility, with my ability, my capability. So whenever I look at something like, oh, I didn't come through, I kind of look at it as a representation of my self-worth. I know that's my own thing, but I realize it's got me into a lot of situations. Like, this apartment's just a cool apartment, you know what I'm saying? The prices is all right, but I didn't want this apartment. I didn't care about this apartment. I'm 27. I've been living by myself since I've been like 20, like maybe 19, 20. You know what I'm saying? Like, had my own apartment, was living comfortable enough to bring dependents on, live with me type shit, like paying rent in multiple households. Like, I've been cool. I've been able to provide for myself, but also I've been a minimalist for my entire life. I thought originally it was because I grew up poor and I couldn't afford things. And then all of a sudden I started having access to things and I realized, oh, I don't actually care about these things. But the things that I do care about, I'll blow a bag on, you feel me? So, and that included, family, friends, you know what I'm saying? Like, things that I care about more than like this surface level house, cars, like Instagram shit, you know what I'm saying? And just like growing up, I grew up poor. So most of my decisions were dictated by whatever the dollar amount was. Like, if I was to get food or glasses or something that I liked or needed, what I was getting was always dictated by whatever was the cheapest option. So whenever I got money, or what I used to think was money, I always prioritized getting the version that I actually wanted versus what was the budget option. But I was also a minimalist. While I'm paying student apartment rent at the time, might have been like $400, I'm buying a Dyson vacuum cleaner. You know what I'm saying? Like, in college. I'm not a person who buys shoes. I dress like a cartoon character. I wear the same clothes every day. I have the same shirts in a bunch of different colors, the same pants in a bunch of different colors. My go-to pair of shoes I've had in maybe 7 different colorways, or maybe 7 different pairs. 3 of them were the same colorway. I'm a person who, once I find what works for me, it works for me until it doesn't work for me. And then that's usually an aggressive switch. And I realize that kind of relates to my life. Like, maybe about 2 years ago, I had a kind of a coming to God moment, and I realized like I was over leveraging myself for a lot of things, and I was resetting. I gave up my apartment at that time that I'd been in for maybe like 3 or 4 years at the time, and gave away all my stuff. Didn't sell anything. Gave away all my stuff, and I decided I was gonna live kind of something like a digital nomad or something. Like, I mean, technically I wasn't making money online for real, but I wanted to be as light as that. Like, I wanted everything that I could own to basically be able to fit in my car or my storage unit. And I wanted to basically really explore what I wanted to do outside of just cutting hair. Because at that time I had actually gotten into a suite, and that was the worst time for me to get into a suite. Now I'm looking back because my priorities shifted all at once. So, like, when I wanted to get rid of my apartment, like, I got rid of apartment rent and all that other stuff, but then I still had apartment rent for the suite versus just being in the shop. Oh, damn, bro. I have a habit of like making a decision all at once and then like having to pay some heavy consequences now. I get committed, I get locked into paths that are straight lines, forgetting that I'm a zigzagging individual. Like, what's going on right now is a mini version of that. I was doing it, it made sense, and all of a sudden, no, this don't make no sense. It's not what I'm called to be doing right now. And then I make a pivot, and then I got to pay some consequences. When I dropped out of college to become a barber, or to pursue barber school for real, for real. Like, I literally went to the library to study for an organic chemistry test with my friend. And then within 30 minutes walking in the building, oh, damn, I'm dropping out. I went in with a mission. Came out with a whole different mission. There was that, and then the next week I was at barber school. I didn't get to start then because I had to get up a deposit and get some money together. But from that point on, I was committed. I was grinding on that goal. Then when I was in barber school, and then I decided, man, if I don't go back to college now, I'm probably not gonna go back. So then I was doing barber school and college at the same time. And then I finished barber school. I might have had maybe about 2 semesters left in college. I went to A&T for chemical engineering. And then, COVID happened. And I was already making money as a barber. And then I'm not about to learn this engineering degree through this bullshit YouTube University format. Like, I need real-time feedback on these problems, bro. Pivoted again. Now I'm realizing, like, since then, I've retired from barbering like 3 times. I still cut hair is my main thing, but I have a real hobby approach with it. I'm more of a tonsorial art teacher. I was on the way to being a barber instructor, and then I realized I don't give a fuck about being a barber instructor. Like, I want to do what I want to do. And I'm realizing the path that is made for somebody like me isn't a linear path. And I don't have an example of it in this world for real. Like, this is something I got to create for myself. And I'm a little frustrated that I'm in a similar situation again because, bro, like, when I say this is a thing that kind of, like, I'm very good at getting out of bad situations, but I'm very good at getting into bad situations. Like, I'm a daytime firefighter, nighttime arsonist. Whole time I'm really just a firebender, you know what I'm saying? Like, my whole life has been about playing on the edge, and I don't know if that's me being toxic or just, being hooked on maladaptive strategies. But I feel like life is just it's a pendulum of over and under corrections. And at some point we get closer to equilibrium in doing things right, or we become more self-actualized and other things. But I realize it's a forever process. Whenever I'm at peace, or what I believe is peace, it only means something if it was a journey to get there. Because otherwise it's not something I even observe for real. Because like we don't even observe most of what's happening around us. We can only sense a tiny percentage of, like, let's say the electromagnetic spectrum around us, like the events happening around us. Even things that are happening to us, we don't process completely in real time. Who am I to judge me? I don't know me for real. If anything, the most I could do is be encouraging when I'm figuring out the process and figuring out the controls for real. Like, I guess over time, I'm understanding the rules to the game, like, for me personally. Like, what are my own tendencies? What are ways that my environment affect me? What are ways that I affect my environment? How do we change over time? Yeah, I'm at a point where I'm realizing it's not worth delaying what I'm being called to do for other people's comfort in any kind of way. Because as a man, good work you do is rewarded with more work. So if my only objective is to help other people, as soon as that workload is clear, there's going to be another one to come in right behind it. So it's in my best interest to prioritize things that are going to put my mask on first. Whatever your mind does and your body does, it gets trained to do better over time. You know what I'm saying? Instinctively. If I'm constantly emptying my tank to do work that doesn't benefit me, nobody else has the incentive to care about me as much as I care about me. Really just working myself into debt. A debt that nobody else is going to pay. I kind of feel like I've been in spiritual debt my whole life. Like keep in mind, I owe niggas money for this apartment. You feel me? Like, there's a lease I signed. So, like, I'm gonna handle that. But I'm realizing breaking financial contracts and paying the consequences for that never really felt like much to me, because I feel like I've had a spiritual debt hanging over my head, in the sense of, like, even in my family, by my parents, I've never been validated for just being me and not being useful to whatever their goal was. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I don't make them look good, it's not worth acknowledging. People only believed in my barbering dream when I was paying their bills. Up until the second of that happening, they didn't believe in what I was doing. But realistically, they just didn't believe in themselves. And they try to project that towards me. We gonna make people feel how we feel. So I don't hold it against nobody, because I've done that too. And sometimes I gotta check myself when I'm talking to my young niggas, you know what I'm saying? Because your bias is always gonna leak into your perspective and your advice. I got validated when I was being useful. So that was the way I learned to get my needs met. I was like, well, I realized the more valuable I am, the harder it is for people to discard me. Say even maybe transcending that, where I didn't even get in a position where anybody could ever discard me because I was at arm's length throwing so much value. I got to a point where I'm throwing benefits, I'm throwing blessings from a distance far enough away where I can't get attached, because I know if I get attached and that attachment breaks, that feels like death to me. Even now, I realize like every time I really had a falling out with somebody, it was because of some level of attachment trauma going on. Like I realized anytime I got super flighty and was like stiff arming people, whenever I was creating distance in my relationships, it's always because I'm in a sensitive place. You know what I'm saying? And like being vulnerable around people has never been a good thing in my experience, or at least from my perception, which now I'm looking back at, like, that's a child's perception. If I'm raw and hurt and vulnerable and exposed to anybody, like, I'm kind of at mercy of whatever they got to do, whatever their intention is, you know what I'm saying? And now I'm an adult, you know what I'm saying? I built up the ability to, like, defend myself, protect myself, look out for my own best interest. But it's like that feeling don't really go away, though. Like, it shrinks. It shrinks over time, but that feeling don't really go away. So I'm peeping, like, I realized when I was first getting into barbering and shit, like your personal relationships leak into your business. If you're accustomed to being around people who never prioritize your best interests, you're gonna come in with a people pleasing energy, and you're gonna be a barber who does everything at the cheapest price, at the most convenient level. And you'll get people that are customers that, you know, you might consider clients for the level of relationship you're willing to tolerate at that time. But let's say as soon as you have a backbone about, hey, whoa, you're 30 minutes late and you're actually playing with my time, and you want all this, and that, that's a little crazy. I'm willing to be inconvenient for you. Why are you not willing to be inconvenient for me and either respect my time or pay a higher price or whatever the policy thing is? And you start to realize, like, as soon as you establish a boundary with people that are accustomed to you not having boundaries, that's when all the problems start popping up for real, for real. Like, a lot of times these people don't like you, they just like your convenience. They like the access you give to them. They like the value that you provide. And when you're a person that just prioritizes value and not authentic connection, you get into transactional relationships like that. And that's the thing I'm dealing with at this level, but it's not thing you ever really stop dealing with, because your standard gets higher and higher for authenticity. Ideally over time, you know what I mean? Now I'm a person who, now I have what I consider healthier boundaries, you know what I'm saying, with people, like just stronger boundaries. Boundaries that people don't hear just when I'm mad. You know what I'm saying? If you can calmly say a boundary, that's a real boundary. If you have to be angry to say it, that's not a real boundary. And when people hear you speak, like, let's say, establish a boundary when you're angry, they don't hear the boundary, they just hear the anger. So they're going to do whatever to smooth over the anger and not take the boundary seriously. If someone walks in to a haircut 30 minutes late, and I'm like, hey man, that's not how my policy works. You're going to have to pay for that inconvenience, or or we're just not doing business. But, you know, have a good day. And I can't say it calm. Most of the time, they'll pay me double. Like, if let's say if they miss their appointment and the policy is paying for the missed appointment or something, like, let's say they'll pay me for that appointment and the next appointment. Because they're like, well, damn, well, I respect that. Like, I might not like it. They might be a little about it, but like, fuck it, I'll pay it. Or they might just go away. And now that boundary problem has solved itself. You feel me? If someone came in 30 minutes late and I said, man, you're always da-da-da-da-da, now I'm usually burning the bridge. Or if they're a client who ends up staying at my client after that, we have this weird energy between us. It's a weird interaction now. It's not even weird because of the boundary, because it's not a real boundary. Someone that came 30 minutes late and thought it was okay was somebody who was coming 10 minutes late, then coming 15 minutes late, then coming 20 minutes late. It's a gradual thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, all humans do it. Like, sometimes somebody might be a little bit late and we're going to, well, shoot, see where the line is. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's just life happens and things really get delayed, and then you're like, okay, well, I don't want to rush now. And then you're just like, I'll see where the line is. You know what I'm saying? You'll test the boundary. and you'll align with people who have similar boundaries. I got clients that I sent to my homies, my barber homies, and they come back because they're like, man, that guy was, I had to wait 15 minutes. But the whole time, like, they rather pay me double my homeboy price because I'm usually on time or early when it comes to my appointments. You know what I'm saying? Because we have a similar association with time. It's my bro clients know to just come 15 minutes late. You know what I'm saying? Be willing to wait 15 minutes. So it's not even really about time. The business transactions you have with people that are aligned with you when it comes to either ideologies or just how y'all want to live your lives or whatever, those people care less about like specifics. Let's say one of the clients I'm talking about, they might be like, man, I don't want to go to a barber that's 15 minutes late, but they'll come to me and they don't care if my haircut is better than bro. They don't mind, like, they don't care if it's mid. They just want to get a haircut by somebody who makes them feel seen. You know what I'm saying? Somebody who has a different association with time and their attention and energy doesn't make them feel as seen. A lot of this barber shit, a lot of this life shit is just metaphysical, you know what I mean? The more internal work you do, and the better you understand yourself, the better you understand everybody else, for real, because there's like this say, there's your perception of the world, there's someone else's perception of the world, and there's your shared perception. If you can understand you already understand like 50% of reality when you're interacting with somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Like that's pretty powerful. I barely remember what this video was about. I'm pivoting, and life and success is not a linear journey. I got ebooks, courses, and consultations in the link in the description. If you haven't already followed me at Cause My Elvis at Better Barbering. But till next time, craft up a clout. I'm out.